Hello everyone, this is Game of Knowledge and More, GoCam, Game of Knowledge, or just Fred if you want to go by my real name. And welcome back to another deck profile. This time it'll be on my Speed Duel deck. It is the Great Moth deck that I got. This is based on the Ultimate Predators structure deck. My skill is Metamorphosis, so you can activate it while you control a level 3 or lower insect normal monster. You discard 2 cards and tribute a level 3 or lower normal monster who's an insect to special summon perfectly ultimate Great Moth from behind the deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. And any damage your opponent takes is half for the rest of the turn. So, as you probably guess, I'm going to start with the cards and with the monsters, and the main monster is perfectly ultimate Great Moth because of it being the big boss monster. He can't be normal summoned to set. He must first be special summoned from your hand by attributing 1 petite moth on your side of the field on your 6th turn or later after it is equipped with Cocoon of Evolution. I do run those 2 cards, but there's more of a chance of me discarding them to use my Metamorphosis. Also, a difference between a speed dueling card and a not speed dueling card that you have to be wary of when playing the speed dueling card deck is if your card says speed dueling just there, then it, or if you look at it with the right angle, it will say speed duel. That means cards like that can be used in a normal deck and a speed dueling deck, like the ones in my Shadow deck. But you cannot use normal cards in a speed dueling deck. But yeah, that's the main monster. I only won 2 because deck space is smaller than normal. Next up is 2 Cocoon of Evolution. You can target 1 petite moth you control, equip this from your hand to that target, and while it's equipped, the original attack of that petite moth becomes this Cocoon of Evolution's attack and defense. So its attack points will go to 0 and its defense points will go to 2000, which is really good for a level 3 monster actually. Next up is Petite Moth. It is one of the skill targets, and if I just decide to equip it with Cocoon of Evolution, its defense will be really good for a level 1 monster, despite being a normal monster. Next is some other monsters. These are all monsters that I can use the skill on. First is Section. It's a level 3 normal. Kumutoka, which is also level 3. Winged Cleaver, a level 2 monster, and Basic Insect, the weakest one of all of them, and also a level 2. As this put them in order of attack points, they all have 7 in 700 somewhere in their stats. Well, Winged Cleaver has in both, but you know. Next, to finish off the monsters, I'm running 3 Gokipon as a searcher for the deck. When he's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can add an insect monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand. So, if I want to, I could just set him, let my opponent attack into it, and add literally everything except for perfectly ultimate Great Moth, who I'd prefer to stay in the deck because Hyper Metamorphosis does do from the deck. Next is the spells. I'm running 2 Laser Cannon Armor. It's an equipped spell that gives an insect monster 300 attack and defense points. Not the best card in the deck in terms of giving attack and defense, but the other card I'm going to show, I will try to get more to replace them, which is Insect Armor with Laser Cannon. This is significantly better than the Laser Cannon Armor, because this gives the monster 700 attack points. It doesn't do defense, but with the deck, it can make Great Moth have insane amount of attack points if you have 3 of them on the field. To round off the insect support, I'm running 2 forests. It gives all insect, beast, plant, and beast warrior monsters on the field 200 attack and defense. It could be good for my Viking deck because it gives beast and beast warriors 200 attack and defense, but unfortunately it does not do the same for winged beasts, so I might include it, but I might not as well. I have it just to deal more damage. Next, to round off the spells in general, I'm going with some draw spells. The first one is a Shard of Greed. If you need a reminder, each time you draw a card or cards from your normal draw in your draw phase, you place a greed counter on it. And if it has 2 or more, you can send it to the grave with those counters to draw 2 cards. Like I said before, it's a slow pot of greed, but in probably a lot of decks that's well worth it. Next is 2 White Elephant Gifts. You send one face-up non-effect monster you control to the grave to draw 2 cards. Fortunately, around half the monsters in the deck is non-effect monsters, so I should be able to send to the grave to draw 2. Next, for trap cards, I'm only running 4. 2 of them is Corrosive Scales. It's a reference to the anime when Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth was summoned against Yugi. You target one insect monster you control, equip this to it, and while you control the equipped monster, your opponent's monsters cannot attack insect monsters except that monster. So it sets a creeper to your Great Moth, your opponent has no choice to attack it. And with it having 3,500 attack points, I doubt they have monsters that can go for it. And while this is equipped to a monster, each time your opponent normal or special summons or activate a card or effect, this gets a counter. This gives each of your opponent's monsters a counter. And each monster your opponent controls loses 100 attack and defense for each scale counter it has. So that means that if they have 10, they'll lose 1,000 attack and defense, which would make it even more harder to attack over Great Moth. Next, to round out the traps, I play 2 Draw Favorites. You target 5 cards in your graveyard except this, shuffle all favorites to the deck, and draw 1 card. I just have it just in case I need to recur some of my cards, like my Goki pawn if I want to get some of my other monsters, or the cards that I discard through Hyper Metamorphosis. So that was the deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed this new type of deck profile. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to, please press the bell icon so you get notified of my videos. This is the Gamer of Knowledge and More signing out. I'll see you in the next one, which will hopefully be either tomorrow or Thursday. See you soon.